Hi, this is Eric Erb. This is Eric Erb from the Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com and, of course, on twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show. I would like to talk to you today about something very disturbing, an article in naturalnews.com. The article states, this is one of their recent articles dated today, February 8th, 2020. The article says, Big Pharma executive says the corona vaccines will take over a year to develop. Now, we know the coronavirus is spreading. The coronavirus is spreading like cancer all over the entire friggin' world. We know this. Everybody knows this. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. The coronavirus is spreading everywhere. But a year? Seriously, come on. Seriously, what the fuck? A year? A year to figure out, to solve this global pandemic, this virus that's going crazy? And reading the article, President Trump wants the coronavirus vaccine released quickly, but that's not going to happen. They have to experiment. They have to do tests. They have to do laboratory tests. They have to do research, lots of research. And most of the research comes, unfortunately, on poor animals, mice, rabbits, and different things like that, as I've explained before when they're doing testing for the coronavirus. It's just a sick thing, but unfortunately, the animals end up dying 99.9% of the time. Then they go on to do human trials, and then after the animals, once they're proven safe, eventually they get around to doing actual human trials for the virus vaccine. One thing I want to know that the Trump administration is fast-tracking the corona vaccine, the development, as well as to convey a message it's all under control. Excuse me. Is it under control? I beg to differ. It's not under control, at least for East Asia. It's not under control for China, certainly. Hong Kong's having its problems. All these countries, the East Asian countries, it's spreading like wildfire. And, of course, they're only reporting, we got about a dozen cases here in the United States, blah, blah, blah. We got everything under control. Bull fucking shit. You don't have things under control. You don't. You don't have things under control. Why? Because it's still spreading. Why? Because this disease is doubling. Somebody contaminated, it lays dormant. It can have an incubation stage up to anywhere from 10 to 14 days. Once it reaches that incubation point, whatever that is, the virus is always constantly it's developing and restructuring its DNA, its molecules, and people don't understand that. You have a virus that's reshaping itself. 1 minute the virus DNA might be one way and they're working on a cure, then it might change the DNA structure altogether another way. So it's very unpredictable. It's a self-replicating virus. It's airborne. They won't admit that, but it is airborne. And that's the scary-ass shit of this all. This damn virus is airborne, and it can spread everywhere. People don't realize that. The government over in China is nothing, and I only say this to the government, not the people, but the government are nothing but a bunch of douchebags and fucking liars. I'm just going to say that. The Chinese government, Chinese communist fucking government is nothing but a bunch of liars and a piece of shit. Okay, there, I said that. I shouldn't say that, but I did. I said that. That's how I feel. They're no damn good. They're killing off their people. I can go back to history. I can look at all the dictators. And Xi Jinping, the current president, he's no worse than anybody else. He's no better than anybody else. Go back to Mao Zedong. Just go look up the history of Mao Zedong. He killed millions and millions of his own people, disarmed them all, killed them all. You have a dictatorial government over there in China. They don't give a fuck. They pretend they're giving a fuck. You know what? They're limiting their test kits over there. They're purposely saving their test kits for the elite and the people in the military. because they think the less test kits you get, then that makes it harder to actually test people for the coronavirus. So then the less test kits, think about it, common sense here, common math, the less test kits we get, then that's that much less people that can be detected that don't have the virus. It's all them ones that aren't detected that have the virus, but they're not counting them. Guess what? Because they don't have enough fucking test kits. That's what's going on. But it's very, very sad. It is very sad that the government, the Chinese government, is not doing something quickly. The numbers are over there staggering. I've seen numbers that if this goes a year, we can be into the millions and millions and millions of people that can be infected, and millions and millions of people can die from this coronavirus. It's very disturbing. It's very sad. This was bioengineered all along. I've been on this coronavirus trail for the last couple of weeks. Most of my podcast, as you folks know that are following this, know this. The Chinese government's responsible. They had spies over in a lab in Canada. I've said this before. I'll say it again. The spies managed to smuggle out a sample of the coronavirus. They took that back to the lab in Wuhan, China, and that's where they started experimenting with the coronavirus. It got out of hand, and guess what? Here we are, fucking pandemic. The world is in a fucking pandemic disease now that nobody has a fucking cure. I just want to say to the Chinese government, thanks a fucking lot. The communists did it again. They fucked everything up, as they always continue to do. And guess what? They're good at one thing. They're good at killing a bunch of people. They're going to end up killing millions of people because of their bullshit. This coronavirus was contained in Canada, contained in a strict lab, strict precautions, strict procedures. It was quarantined and it was contained. It never had a breakout or anything in Canada because Canada knows what the fuck they're doing. They know when they're handling something deadly. Obviously, the Chinese do not. So let me know what you think of this podcast. Go to theericherbshow.com online. And, of course, you can find me on twitter.com/The Eric Herb Show. I'm always on Spreaker. And, of course, you can reach me on podbean.com /Eric Herb Show Live. This is Eric Herb, signing off.